Well, hello, friends. Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo. And as always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, and subscribing to the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, this literally does not work. Let's get open for business here on this Tuesday afternoon because business is definitely open when it comes to our Dallas Cowboys. Stephen Jones, I always tell you guys, pay attention to Stephen Jones, but something is really missing. I got to tell you, I'm sad because the Dak Prescott Power of Four shirt that's already been signed by a lot of you great fans has now left the building and it is on its way to Lake Charles for my good friend Deidre. She's got a lot of Cowboy friends that are going to sign it and stuff, and she's going to do like an autograph signing someplace. She's going to let me know when and where, so that way any of you that are in the area that want to go and sign the shirt can go there and do that. So from there, it's going to be going to Miss Jackie and then to Sandman. So it's going to be making its way, and I feel sad right now. I'll be honest. It's like I lost my baby, but it's all good. But anyway, Stephen Jones. I tell you to pay attention to Stephen Jones because Stephen Jones is slowly been taking over control of the Dallas Cowboys. Jerry will say anything and all that off the top of his head. Stephen Jones is very, very calculated in his moves. And there's so much to digest, I've got to go through it all. And so I'm thinking we're going to do maybe a live stream about 5 o'clock today just to start talking about all of this stuff because literally we talked about D-Law's contract and things where they've already given an offer to him. He's talked about Cole Beasley, saying Cole Beasley has options and so on, but they'd like to bring him back. He's talking about Alan Hearns and saying that he may be ready for training camp and that they probably want to bring him back, which is great news because I pointed out the Cowboys could grab an easy $5 million by letting him go. Not saying it was the right thing to do, but it's one of the things you look at when you're building a team. But what I want to talk about and focus on right now at this moment, and I told you guys, things had changed with Jason Garrett. The Cowboys, once they made it to the playoffs, won that first game, Jason Garrett was feeling good. He was feeling himself. And he went into that press conference and said, I'm proud of my boys, the way they fought. We went out there, we competed, we turned things around and everything, and we feel good, and we're not making any changes in coaching. And that's when Stephen Jones, Jerry didn't say anything. Stephen Jones was like, wait a minute. We haven't had those discussions. Now, we don't know if Stephen Jones is going to be like Jerry and really hands-on with the team. But I can tell you what, he doesn't talk a lot. But when he does, pay attention because it was that moment that all of a sudden everything changed with Jason Garrett. Because it was a couple days later that Scott Linehan was let go. Stephen Jones is the power source with the Dallas Cowboys. He's the one who's taking control. He was asked, point blank, Stephen Jones was asked by reporters about his head coach, Jason Garrett, entering the last year of his current contract. This is the quote. I'm dyslexic. I'm not great at reading out loud, so understand if I mess up. No one wants Jason Garrett to be around here for the long term more than the Jones family. No one thinks more of him than we do. He's saying, listen, we want him to succeed. We want him to win Super Bowls after Super Bowls. We want him to be the Tom Landry. That's what you infer from that. Then it goes on to, no one thinks more of him than we do, but at the same time, I know he uses it. And this is a Jason Garrett term. Everybody's back is against the wall right now. We've got a really good young team. We've got high expectations for this young team. And everybody from Jason to his staff to our players to the ownership to the organization feels the pressure to take the next step. Our fans deserve that. Let me read it again without stopping and try and make sure I get it fully, okay? No one wants Jason Garrett to be around here for the long term more than the Jones family. No one thinks more of him than we do. But at the same time, I know he uses it. Everybody's back is against the wall right now. We got a really good young team. We've got high expectations for this young team, and everybody from Jason Garrett to his staff to our players to ownership to the organization feels the pressure to take the next step. Our fans deserve that. That's not a Jason Garrett clap right there. That is an amen going to church on Sunday clap because the Lord is good. I am so happy. I'm like him. I'd love to see Jason Garrett win Super Bowl after Super Bowl. I would love to see that. But one of the things that's driven me crazy, Jerry, I love you, man. You took $140 million and a team that was losing $1 million a month, and you turned it into the most valuable franchise in the world. You got a stadium second to none. The fan experience is off the chain. But one thing that's always bothered me is every year we always go through, and doesn't matter about Jason Garrett, he's going to be the coach of the Dallas Cowboys. Yeah, we know we got some problems and we don't win, and there's some clock management, but he's still the coach of the Cowboys. And see, I believe that you need pressure on you to perform. If you know you ain't got nothing to lose, I ain't losing my job whether we win or lose. You do just enough to get by. But go to the company where people are thinking, if I don't perform, I'm next on the chopping block. That guy, he's getting there early. He's the last one to leave. He's doing a little bit extra to make sure that he's noticed, that he's getting the job done early. Not just early, but better than the next guy. Because he doesn't want to lose his job. He doesn't want to be in the unemployment line. And I am so happy that you put it out there that, listen, I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're the owner, the GM, the ball boy, the secretaries, and certainly Jason Garrett, that you have to perform to keep your job. There's nothing promised because you know what? When these players don't perform, they're out of here. I like that because I'm going to tell you about Jason Garrett. Jason Garrett, I told you, when things were going south, I told you, I sat right here and I said this over and over again. Jason Garrett is like a cockroach. And I'm not saying he's a cockroach. Okay, understand, I'm using this analogy. But a cockroach can survive anything. Nuclear bomb goes off. Guess what? The cockroaches are there. Jason Garrett is a survivor like a cockroach. Whenever you think you got Jason Garrett and this is it, and this is done, it's all up and over, Jason Garrett gets it done just enough to save his job. Remember 8-8, 8-8, 8-8? He was the play caller. Jerry Jones, listen, we're going to take that play call away from you. Bill Callahan, Scott Linehan, those guys are going to take care of play calling, Jason. And Jason Garrett was on the hot seat. And what happened? 2014. A catch, no catch call away from being at the NFC Championship game. Next year, Tony Romo gets hurt. The team, and I won't give you the excuse of Tony Romo being hurt, because in the NFL, when your quarterback gets hurt, you should still win more than one game with the backup. At least more than one game. And I'll be honest, we didn't really win that game in Washington. Had it not been for Santana Moss, I think it was Santana Moss, running backwards on a punt and fumbling on the 6-yard line, and us getting the ball and getting the field goal, we wouldn't have won that game. He was on the hot seat. And what happens? Tony Romo gets hurt. Dak Prescott, boom. 13-3. This year, we know this past year, this past season, 3-5. They were already talking about guys that were going to replace Scott Linehan and likely candidates to replace Jason Garrett. What happened? And I told you guys, I said, this season ain't over. Jason Garrett's a survivor. And you watch. Next year will be the year. Mark my words. We are definitely going to be doing a live stream in probably about an hour and a half, 5:30, something like that, as soon as I can get myself together, as soon as I can digest all this stuff to go ahead and regurgitate it to you guys. But as always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, and subscribing. Wow. Football may not be back, but football's back, baby! See you soon.